Blessings, blessings, blessings to each of you, our viewers. We're so grateful to have you today. We want to welcome you to another episode of Heart Matters as we have wonderful guests here from the Harris County Sheriff's Department. And they're going to share with us some of the things that we are facing today. You know, if we look in America, there are so many various scams. There are things that we get caught up in. I had a friend the other day who said that they were tricked out of all their money, their retirement, all kinds of things. And I want to tell you that tonight's episode is really coming to you with relevant information that can stop you from losing all that you have and being aware. We want to welcome tonight our guests. We have, first of all, Sergeant Hall with us, Keith Hall. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Lee.
Okay, and I want to thank you, Deputy Dennis.
Yes.
Deputy Renee Dennis, we want to thank you for coming. You've been on our books for a while, and I'm so grateful because this is an area that really concerns me. Being somebody who come from the streets and somebody who also have worked with women to bring them off of the streets, okay? I'm always looking for ways that we can empower our people in our neighborhoods and our communities and so that we can keep them safe, all right? And we understand today we have all kinds of scams, so I'm going to kind of let y'all, can you look at your literature or go for what you know right here and just tell us, because I know electronically we got scams through the mail, telephone. My phone rings off the hook. Is there anything we can do about that?
Well, there is the do not call registry.
I've been on that thing forever.
Right.
But now, originally when they had the do not call, it was you had to re-up every 3 years or something like that. Now, if you go ahead and sign up, then you're on there and you don't have to redo it.
Okay.
So they have fixed that to where you don't have to redo that.
Okay.
But that just kind of gets rid of some of it, not all of it.
No, not all of it.
Yeah. So there, and like you said, it's email, it's through the snail mail, it's over the phone. I mean, they'll knock at your door and scam you. I mean, you know, there's just all kinds of different ways that they can scam you now.
Well, can you give us some examples of each one of those? Actually, I know right now we're facing that Facebook dilemma, right? Right, that's a real big
Facebook.
issue,
Yes.
right?
Yes, social
and then
media.
somebody went and shot up YouTube
I
something
saw
today.
that
I'm
earlier.
like, really,
Yeah.
y'all, really,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But that's been an issue. Have you guys had many complaints or
There's-
did that
Well,
affect
I
you?
mean-
Get involved in that or anything?
Well, I'm just going to repeat what I said earlier about I received a phone call saying, hey, you know, this is the IRS and, you know, you're going to, you know, we'll audit you if you don't contact us, whatnot. But the IRS will not call you. They will mail you anything they need to correspond with you. It will be by mail. So it will not be by a phone call. So just keep that in mind. with
All
that.
right, because
That
I know a
happened
lot
to
of
me.
seniors sweat it,
Right.
and y'all young people don't understand at all. So, but they sweat it because they've been taxpayers for years, and they get a letter from IRS, and I've even known a lady who got the same call, right?
Right.
And so they threaten you. They threaten to take you to jail. They threaten
Right.
to take you, freeze
Right.
your accounts.
Yes.
I mean, just all kind of
Yeah.
intimidating
Right.
information,
Right.
and it's all bogus, right?
all bogus.
It's all bogus.
yes.
And so they're telling you, these officers are telling us that if we get something from IRS, then we need to be mindful. And we get a call from IRS. We need to be mindful of that, and we need to make sure that we don't respond to it appropriately. One lady told me she got a call from IRS, and I had mentioned this earlier, and she said, and they told her, well, we're going to bring the police if you don't go get the money right now.
Right.
She was older, she was frail, she was fragile, and her cognition wasn't as great. And
Right.
she was calling her family, and good thing her daughter caught it, right? She
Right.
caught it.
Well, it's
But
good that she called her family. It's always good to talk to somebody else and let them know what's going on too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because she could have got killed, and
Correct.
not just robbed, but killed, right?
yes.
And so
Yes.
I told her, make sure when they call and tell you they're gonna send the police, you tell them, come on, because the police will be right here waiting on you. You know, we don't have to be scared about something like that. And even when it comes by mail, we still have to be careful.
yes,
Yes,
check it out.
yes,
Yes,
still have to
I
be.
got one in the mail and I went to check it out and it was real, but but you always check it out. Just you
Yeah.
always want to
Yeah.
check it out. Don't just
Yeah.
assume, okay, yeah, that's who it goes to. So
Right.
yes, always double check
Yeah.
it and make sure. And they won't call you. You know,
Yeah.
so just don't even fall for that.
Yeah.
They'll call you.
All
So.
right, all righty. Tell us about some of the other things that's out there right now that's really hitting
The
our community.
grandkid scam is one of the big ones that's going on, especially with the older people in the community. What it is the kids will call, or I say kids, and I'm gonna say bad guys for lack of a better term, will call and they'll say, "Hey, Grandma, you know, I'm having some problems and I need your help. I need some money. Either I need to get out of jail or I need, you know, money to take care of this problem, this issue." And the person on the other phone is sitting there going, "Who is this? You know, I can hardly hear you." A lot of times they'll be scratching the phone or they'll be crackling paper or somehow, you know, and they'll say, oh, I have a cold. I'm sorry. I have, you know, my voice is off, but it's your favorite grandchild. Don't you remember me? You know, and that's how they get in, or they get information off of Facebook, or they get information, you know, somewhere off of this social media where they can get anything and everything they want, and they get the information they need, and then so they make grandma, grandpa believe, and then grandma, they go out and they send money, and it has happened several times where I know of a case. Wasn't that long ago where this poor little lady just went out and she sent money and she come back, and about an hour later she got a phone call again, and it was her grandchild again, and they said, "That got us out of jail. Now we need money to be able to go and get on an airplane because we need to get back to town." But it was all, "Oh, don't tell Mom and Dad because you know how Mom will freak out," you know, and stuff like that. Don't fall for that. You know, she did. This poor lady fell for it,
I
and
feel
then
so bad for
after
her.
after about $7,000, I believe she said, she finally decided to pick up the phone and call her granddaughter. And her granddaughter said, "Well, no, Grandma, I've been sitting in my dorm all weekend. Don't know what you're talking about." So
Right.
if she had called $7,000 sooner, she
Yeah.
wouldn't be out that money. So, you know, just be
Right,
smart,
right.
and you know, one of the key things, one of the red flags should go up if they say, "Hurry up," or "Don't tell Mom," or "Don't,"
Right.
you have to do it now, because if you wait, it's not going to be the same. You know, those are key words that you
Yeah,
need
they
to.
always try to rush you
Yes.
to do something real quick.
Right.
So those are red flags.
So they're
like
playing
you
on
said.
your heartstrings, or
They
your,
are.
Yes,
your
yes,
emotions.
Yes,
And
yeah.
we talked about that because emotions can cause us to react when we really should sit still and not make a move, right? And we
Yes.
need to think about it and process it and share it with somebody else.
Right,
Correct.
and that's
Yeah.
what they're trying to do, is get you to hurry up so that you don't have time to call and talk to family
Correct.
and find out, oh, this isn't what it should be. And when they're pulling at your heartstrings, and that's one of the things I can't stand, is when they try and get you to give a contribution to something that is very dear, like right now with the State of the Union, the State of of America, how we're, you know, and they say, "Oh, well, but I'm in the military and we're
Right.
collecting money for this."
I just
Check
got
it
that the
out
other
before
day.
you give money. Yes, check
Yeah.
it out. You know, you get the phone call all the time. I'm with the police department.
And
Okay,
the fire
we don't
department,
have time to
yeah.
sit on the phone and call people. That's
Right,
not us.
right,
Now,
yeah.
sometimes it is employee organizations,
Right.
but most of the time, the money that you're giving, it doesn't go to what you think it's going to.
Right.
So always check it out. Never just give money, even though they are pulling at those heartstrings and they are trying
Right.
to get you to. Yeah, just don't do it. Just check it out before you give money, because the only way you can give money is to give your personal information over the
And-
phone. And who are you giving it to? A total stranger.
Right.
Right.
And don't you teach your kids don't talk to strangers?
Right.
But here you
Stranger
are giving
danger.
personal information. Right.
I like that.
right.
Stranger
Yeah,
danger.
yeah.
Right.
Poses danger. Absolutely.
Right.
OMG. I'm just like, oh, the grandkid scam I had not heard of.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see where that has really impeded a lot of people, and probably a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of persons have been ripped off, basically.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Yeah.
Under
Plenty.
that scam,
plenty.
yeah, because what's more dear to a grandmother's or a grandfather's
Yeah,
heart
than
than
their
their
grandkids.
grandchild?
their
Right, and they
Your
do
grandchildren.
children, you
anything
say,
for
well,
the
you gotta do so
grandchildren.
and so, but your grandchildren,
Right.
yeah, you can go overboard. Oh my goodness.
Right.
All right, what else is
Right.
out there?
Well, there's so many different ways that they can, and I have lots of different paperwork here and stuff. We pass out information all the time on identity theft and.
Tell us
just-
about identity theft, because
Well-
some people still aren't aware of it.
Identity theft is basically they're trying. Really, it's not they're trying to get your identity because they don't want to drive your car, or well, maybe they might, but they don't want to wear your clothes and dress and go to your job or anything like that. They want your money. And so there's different ways to do it, and one of them is scams and cons and different ways. But another way they can do identity theft is they dive into dumpsters. They get information from there. Sometimes they're yes.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Dumpsters.
They go through your trash.
Yeah.
You know, you put it out at the, at the curb, into the curb, and they make you go to work, and it's there.
So we should shred everything.
Should shred.
Yes,
Should
shred it. And if you don't
shred.
have a shredder and you plan on buying one, we suggest that you get one that's a crisscross or a confetti shredder, because it shreds everything into tiny little pieces that you can't put back together. I have taken a class before by the FBI, and they had an ex-con who put back together regular shredded paper and
Yeah.
made it look real.
Yeah.
You know those you are pre-approved? You
Yeah,
know, you get those in the
yeah,
mail all the
yeah.
time, right? They had taken one of those, and he said what they used to do is they would put those together, and they still do it, and they'll fill out, they check the box, I have moved, and then they fill out all the information, they give a P.O. box, they go down and buy a P.O. box for little to nothing, and they get that credit card in your name at that P.O. box, and you never know it's there. And so then they go, and as soon as the credit card comes in, they never go back, because now all there is bills.
Right.
So they never
Right,
go back to the
right.
P.O. box. They just take that credit card and run with it, and then you never know it until
Until
you
you-
check your credit report.
You check your credit, or you try to apply for something,
Right.
and bam, oh, you already owe this amount of money. Well, I've never been with this electric company, or I've never been to this department store to try to get a credit card from you guys. Well, yes, you have. We got your information right
Got
here.
your information.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
so,
yes. I shred everything.
Yeah.
Anything with my name on it, my address on it, any type of, you know how they send you magazines and different things with the little
Right.
numbers on it
Yeah.
Yes.
because it's registered to you. I
Right.
shred everything.
And that's the
Right.
way you should do
Everything.
it. Everyone should
Anything
do
with
that.
my name on it. I
Yes.
take
Yeah.
magazines, I rip off the front page, and I
Right.
shred those things, and I got the crisscross, by the way.
Yeah, have the
Yep,
crisscross.
yep.
Yeah.
I shred it, and then I throw the magazine away.
Mm-hmm.
And letters that come, because sometimes the letter is the outside of the envelope is addressed to you. You may throw it away, but the letters inside
Mm-hmm.
of them might have your first or your last name on it, depending on how comfortable they want you to feel with them.
Correct,
And
correct.
so then I shred all that stuff.
Yes, it's best to shred anything with your personal information on it.
Now, is there a way to stop all that mail from coming to your house?
That's a good question. I have no idea, really. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea.
But I tell you what, I did get a good idea from a person that I talked to at some of my meetings that I go to, and what he said he does is he takes all of those things that are junk that he gets that has all his information on it. He shreds it all, puts it back in one of those pre-stamped envelopes, and sends it back.
Send it back. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's good. That's good.
That's good.
That's
That's
So-
good.
Send it
yeah,
back.
I think that'll stop
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Right?
I like
It's
that.
worth the stamp.
I like that
Amen to
idea.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. I'm gonna
Yes.
have to do that.
So-
See
Yeah.
why we should share information?
But one of the best things you can do to make sure that your identity is not being stolen is to check your credit report.
Yes,
And
yes.
you can get it free once a year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 different credit reporting agencies. That's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And you can get, I'm kind of frugal, so instead of just getting all 3 of them at the beginning of the year, I get one, and then about 3 or 4 months later, I'll get another one, and then 3 or 4 months later, I'll get the other one. Now, if there's a problem on one, then I go ahead and get the other ones because I
Right.
want to correct it if it's
Right.
on all of them,
Right.
But we do suggest that you check your at least twice a year. So if you do it all at once at the beginning of the year, then it's I don't know $15 depending on who you're getting it from.
It's worth
to get
keeping your identity.
Yes,
Right, yeah, and-
yes,
Yes.
yes, because I know so many people who have, they didn't realize it, and until they get their stuff in the mail and they start looking, going, I don't have a Visa. I don't know why I'm getting this. Why is this on my credit
Right.
report? Well, it's because somebody
Right.
has stolen their identity and they didn't even know it.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
Or somebody's contacting them about saying, hey, you owe us money, bill collector, saying that, hey, you owe us this amount of money. And then they run their credit report. Oh, this is actually on there, so it's good.
A lot of that comes through the email
Check.
too. People
Yeah.
say you owe money. They say we have money for you. They say you want
Oh,
money. You
Right.
know
yes,
that
yes.
kind of.
Oh
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
what we
That's
call
that's
phishing
yeah,
scams.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's one as well. They
Yeah.
say you want some money, you need to claimed it, sent us your information, and they always want your information first. You got to get it, to get your prize. So
And then
yeah.
they'll tell you that,
Yeah.
we need you to pay this fee before you can get your money.
Yeah.
And my thing is, take it off the top and give me
Yeah.
what's
Give me my
left.
money.
But
Yeah,
they won't do
and
that.
that is true. They'll say send us $300.
Right.
And then you send that $300 to get supposedly $1,000 or whatever, and then once you send that money, then they'll say send us another amount, to get
Right.
this money, that we have on that you won, So yeah, it's a plethora of different type of scams out there.
Lots of different
yeah,
ways they can.
yeah.
And one of the other ways, and this is pretty popular, is they'll send you, it'll look like it's coming from a bank.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this email from the bank saying, well, we're updating our computer records and we need your information and we need you to update and make sure. So click on this link. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, because it may look like that bank because they've borrowed that logo, or they've copied that logo over, and it may look like it, but it's not. And it'll even tell you in the email, if you've forgotten your account number or your PIN number, well, then just use your social security number. That'll get you in. You know,
Right.
they're just phishing,
Right.
and that's why we call them phishing
yeah.
scams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're fishing.
yeah, trying to get whatever information they can.
Right, and as soon as they get somebody on the hook, then they're going to try and
Yeah.
reel you in. And of course, like he said, they're going to try again and again. They're going to say,
Yeah.
"Oh well, we got this. Now we need this." And
Yeah.
so once they get a little bit, then they're going to want more, and they're going to
Exactly.
keep trying.
Do you have any statistics on how many people fall for those type of scams?
That, yeah.
It's hard to get statistics. We could do statistics on how many have reported it, but how
Oh,
many
that's true,
actually
that's
fall
true.
for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they don't all report
Report
it.
it.
Some
Yeah.
people they're a little embarrassed that it happened to them.
Yeah.
But you know what? It happens to the best of us.
Right,
Right.
right. Now, when it happens, who should they be reporting it to?
Well-
Because we could hit Facebook or
Right.
whatever it is and say it's a scam,
Right.
report that. But what else can you do?
You can. There actually is. This book here is a book from the Federal Trade Commission,
Yeah,
and
FTC.
it actually tells
Can
you
you show
what
them
to
the front of that
do.
book?
Sure can. You
It's
can
called Identity
contact.
Theft
Yes, it's-
Recovery. Identity Theft Recovery. Mhm.
And you can actually go to identitytheft.gov, and that is the Federal Trade Commission's website there, and you can go there, and it'll actually tell you what to do
Correct.
to help you once it's happened to you. And it'll actually tell you what to do to keep it from happening to you, so you can kind of get it before. But if
Right.
it's already happened to you, then you need to go, because the first thing you're going to need to do is contact, if it was a Visa that was, charged on your account or whatever, then you want to contact that Visa, that bank or entity that gave you the Visa.
Right.
You want to contact your bank. You want to let everyone know, and you do want to contact the 3 agencies we talked about a while ago and let them know, hey, there has been a fraudulent thing happen on my credit report, and so they will put a stop, and they can stop anything that happens on that report.
So if you're having a problem with identity theft or you suspect that you may be a potential target, and all of us are potential targets to be honest, you can go and to the website identitytheft.gov and you can get this information. I'm sure it comes you can get it through the email. They can
You can-
email it to you,
yes.
or you can get it hard copy.
Right.
Yes.
But it's a good book to read and good book to have, because at some time or another, all of us going to get hit at one point or another, because of just the society we live in today, the way things are. And it's better to be prepared. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. So it's better to be prepared so you know how to quickly do what? Recover what you lose, okay? Recover.
Right.
And that's what that means, okay? So that is really, really good information. And of course, the identity theft is just a big issue in America. We want to make sure that you're not a victim to that if at all possible, okay?
It
Anytime
also
soon.
happens, and I brought this one to remind us that it also happens to our children. Even though your child may not have credit yet, that means he has good credit, he or
That's-
she. So if they get a hold of that child, their social security number and their personal information, they could actually have their credit and all their stuff stolen as well.
Right.
So just because they're not of age to have their own credit
Right.
doesn't mean they're not liable or susceptible. Even deceased,
Right.
it's one of those things. It's sad, but if they get a hold of that information and find out, then they'll use it.
And they usually use that around tax time.
Yes.
This one here, the,
The
child
children,
identity.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
And again, that's more information you can get from that same website.
Right.
Right. And I realized a couple years ago that your obituaries, be careful who you give your obituary out to. Even people attending the funeral,
Yeah.
because everything you want to know about a person is
It's-
on their
it's right there.
obituary.
That's right.
Everything.
And sometimes the guys, the bad guys, as we'll call them, will be out there reading the obituaries and say, oh, look, today this whole family's going to be over here at the cemetery, so their house is going to be empty. So,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
Yes.
you have to watch that too. Not only that, but then the widow will get phone calls, hey, I need to speak to so-and-so. Oh, well, he's
Right.
deceased. Well, he owes me money. So, and then, and the
She's
widow
trying to
doesn't
scramble
know.
it.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
so, be sure, you got to keep an eye on stuff like that. Just because somebody calls you and says they owe you money doesn't mean they owe you money.
Right, and identity theft, because your birth date and all that information,
All that
is in
information is
there,
right there.
Who you're related to.
Correct.
They could just build your little profile.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Without your
It's-
Social Security, they can still
it's-
build your profile.
yeah.
Amen.
It's
So
it's
they
right
have to
there.
It's right there. So be very, very careful who you give that kind of information information to. This is a nice little book. I have this book at home, and it's
Okay.
protecting your identity, and also have the one about the scams. You have a 1-800 number people can call, right, to block out those calls.
Yes, and it's
Okay.
all in that book
It's
right there.
all in
yes,
this book.
it's all in that
Do
book.
we care have this around the United States?
This is all. As a matter of fact, you can get it. It's listed up here. It's from
USAA.
the USAA, and they have educational information that you can get online or again on paper. And you actually can order enough to give out to your whole congregation or whoever you need to give it to. So and it's all free. They send it to you free.
Yes.
All right,
Send
all
it to
right.
you.
I want to encourage everybody, I mean like everybody, to get this information and read it and share it, because we are our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. We can help keep one another safe, keep our community safe, keep our grandkids safe, keep our children's future safe. I'm thinking about this child identity. You can theft. You can mess a child's future up before they even get one started.
Yes.
Trying to get in school or trying to get credit for a house or whatever the
Car.
case is. A car, absolutely. That's gonna come first, right?
That's
the
what
car,
comes
right,
first.
right. Some wheels, absolutely. So, we want to be careful about that. Something may happen to a parent and a child is eligible to help out with some young siblings, but they can't get anything because why? Their identity has been stolen because we didn't protect them. So please protect your children and protect yourself in the midst of everything that you do. We're very busy today. We're too busy. We need to slow it down, and we need to check our credit report. We need to make sure that the calls
Absolutely.
that we're getting are appropriate calls. Don't answer yes when you answer the telephone. They ask you, "This is you." No, you find another phrase, or I'm like, "Who are you? Why are you asking?" And you tell
Yeah.
me, you
Who wants to
identify
know?
who wants to know. You need to identify yourself first because you
Yeah.
called me, right?
Right.
So don't be so gullible and don't be so emotional, okay, to respond to everything. Ask the Lord to lead you and guide you, and ask
Yes.
Him to help you. You got this one over
Yes.
here. What you got over? Oh, this is going to be our next session,
Yeah.
right? Okay, all right. Make sure that you take care of what God has entrusted you to. One of the things that He has called us to do is be good stewards, and He wants us to be good stewards over everything that He has entrusted to us. Our homes, our credit, our property, our children, our finances, our investments, everything we're to be good stewards over. And if you don't take care of what belongs to you, nobody will. If you are careless with your information, I promise you, somebody will give it due diligence. Hello, somebody. Somebody will utilize it. So we must be careful. We live in a society now where there are no boundaries whatsoever. A life doesn't mean
Absolutely not.
anything, and neither does your credit, and neither does your children. So we have to make sure that we take responsibility for covering our behinds. I used to be a nurse, and I'll tell you that CYA was all we lived by all day long. I know I'm saved. Yeah, I'm still saved, but I'm telling y'all the truth, okay? You have to cover your behind, and you have to make sure that you keep yourself aware of what's going on. You may lose a mate. and that mate has done all the finances and took care of all those things for you, but now you have to do it for yourself. Don't sit in recluse. Don't sit in isolation. Don't sit in a place where you just let the paperwork pile up, or you become gullible to everything that comes through the door, or even emotional about it. Take control for your life and ask God and the Holy Spirit to give you wisdom on how to operate with your daily affairs. You're going to be here, so you might as well enjoy it. Don't get yourself in a situation where you're frustrated and you're upset, and you don't
Right.
want to spend all of your old age running around to the doctor and to the bank trying to fix it. All right. So, and the police department, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Anybody want to add something to that before we
And
close out today?
what we didn't say also was that you probably really need to file a police report as well. So we kind of left that out. Talked about all the
I
other
was
things,
wondering
but
where that was
but-
at.
but you need to file a police report. So to definitely be on record with
Right.
us that or any agency out there, whatever state you live in, they'll have a record of it, and then they can always go back and look at it and research it.
So that's email scams.
email scams.
That's mail scams.
Mail scams. Let us know
Phone
about
calls.
it. Phone calls.
Yes.
Okay.
All of it.
All of it.
Just report it to a law enforcement agency, and then they'll either take a report or take some notes on it, or try to research and see what's going on with that. Yeah.
Right. And let me say this, because criminals escalate in their criminal activity. If you allow them to get by with one thing, they will try something else. And I want to share this, that if you don't protect yourself, you will help open the door for other things to happen to you and to those around you and those you love. So make sure that you remember this, that if you do not protect yourself, it's just like Esther when she had to go before the king on behalf of Israel. Mordecai, her uncle told her, or cousin told her, okay, that if you don't step up to the plate and do what you need to do, you too, sweetie, will perish. Remember, the life you save may be your own, and the life you save may be that of your loved one and those that are closest to you. Be very careful how you handle information, and be careful how you let others handle your personal information, because truly it is yours. Take ownership for it, look over it, and make sure that you are actively involved and making sure that everything is taken care of in an appropriate manner. Stewardship is the greatest privilege that we have here on earth over our salvation and over the things that God has entrusted to us. Let us live like children of light and not children of darkness. In other words, we walk in awareness and discernment, and we walk indeed in a place of authority to tell Satan, get thee behind me, because I will not allow you to take what God has given me. He is a robber and a thief every time he comes to your life. Don't take him for a friend. He will always be a foe. God bless you and have a great day.